Assalamu alaikum, Kaya.
Assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Wow, it has been a minute.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long minute.
Maybe a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's been a very long time.
Jazakallah khairan for having me back.
Bro, Jazakallah khair for giving me your time, bro, and
Not at
for
all.
jumping back on.
Not at all.
How's it going, bro?
Alhamdulillah, good man.
Did you do an ENAT doc in the end?
Any?
Did you do an ENAT doc?
I didn't, you know.
Oh, no, right.
Which
Yeah, I
is-
think I got busy as well.
Which is, but however, I've got a few topics locked away in the old noggin.
The ENAT noggin.
Yeah.
So for those people who don't know, ENAT doc, we created an acronym for a document that we used to create in preparation for these episodes, which stood for... You don't
Episode
remember?
notes for absolute tanks.
Episode notes for absolute tanks.
There you go, ENAT.
Yeah.
If you know,
For
you
those
know.
of you guys who are still not understanding it, ENAT.
We like acronyms in this podcast.
Yeah, we
and that's
do.
one. And that's one acronym we'll just randomly drop on you every now and again.
So I think I've adjusted the. I haven't. My volume seems to be really loud. Surprisingly, I've got louder. I didn't think I'd get any louder. There you go. I think my volume's done. Cool.
Yeah.
Test it. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Great.
Okay, let's go. So you had something.
Yeah, what did I have? I was going to ask you about, you were talking about the sandstorm and your asthma stuff.
Oh my gosh, bro! I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Faisal. The representative is trying to call you. First of all, no, he's not.
This sounds incredibly serious.
No, no.
The representative
Hi, I have not received a call.
from said representative.
Yeah.
Please relay this to your seniors.
yeah, exactly. Bro, so basically, right,
Yeah.
the internet guy called me today.
Okay.
And so we're going to have to pause this episode when they come because I have to deal with it.
All right. Yeah, that's all right.
So, but I want you to come with me to deal
Okay.
with it.
Well,
But basically, right?
this sounds more serious than before now.
Yeah, no, we've got to deal with this guy.
Yeah.
I need backup.
This guy's coming in, yeah.
But how funny is it? How amazing is it that in Dubai at 9:30 at night,
It's coming now.
the
Yeah.
internet guy's coming like, and
That's
it's like it's like one of the big major companies in Dubai. Like this, it's such a convenient city. But they called me today and they were like, "Your internet runs out." Basically, this month, I've just because it's been 2 years this month that I've come to Dubai.
Yeah.
Apparently, everything's on a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So like, my internet's rang. My driver's license I renewed. I'm also renewing my phone bills, and now I've got to renew my internet. The internet guys rang me today, and they were like, "Hey, your internet's running out. You had a 2-year contract. Runs out in a few days. What do you want to do?" And then they gave me the packages, and then I chose the package. I was like, "What's the next steps?" And he was like, "Okay, so the guy will be there today for you to sign for your new package, and then we'll call you and arrange the guy to do."
All right, that's fine. So I think you just give me your Emirates ID in it and in a little machine.
Yeah.
Sign it's done.
But the thing that made me a bit worried was that the call was from a different company. It wasn't from Do. But I googled the company and it said online that they're a representative of Do because they outsource the customer services.
Yeah, I think they do.
So I said to him at the end of everything, I said to him, just want to make sure like you're not a scam. How do I know you're not legit? How do I know you're legitimate? He was like, look, completely understandable. First of all, he had my account number, my address, everything.
Yeah.
But secondly, he was like, when the guy comes, you can literally ask him for his employee card and he can show you his Do employment card. I was thinking, they're not going to go to the length. Surely, I mean, they could.
He's like, completely understandable. If you just transfer 5,000 dirhams to my account.
That's the other thing, he's not asking me for any money.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
This stuff is all, I think it's legit, it's fine.
So anyway, he's coming now, I guess. He was like, when can the guy come? And I was like, I don't know, like, he's like, when can the guy come to do the thing? And I was like, okay, I'm thinking like, oh, like arrange a time for next week or something.
9 to
as is
5,
normal.
yeah.
Like, he goes, and I said, sorry, what did you say? He goes, when can the guy come today to sort of thing? I was like, today? I was like, well, I guess I'm in, like,
Yeah.
any time.
Yeah.
So he literally, it's amazing, isn't it? How
It
convenient Dubai is.
It is, bro.
He's not calling, the guy's not calling me though. And I'm starting to get angry,
yeah,
Kaya.
I would if I was you.
Let me ask him to call you again. Does he have my correct number?
Yeah.
Also, if he's trying to call me, like, what, is he outside?
Usually, either he's outside or it's 30 minutes away, no in between.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
30 minutes, isn't it?
He's calling me. So how many times you got a call? Oh, the guy's here. He's like, oh, bro, I'll be there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, just don't call me, man.
Yeah,
don't
let me know when you're here.
Don't get my hopes up on you internet like that.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah. I was talking to my brother today, older brother, about like going on this whole thing, like convenience thing. They had to go to the hospital in UK recently. Thankfully, nothing major in the end. But he was just like relaying me like the latest of London. And bro, he painted a picture of the A&E room that we're in. And bro, it sounded horrible, man. Like drunks coming in and falling on the floor.
Yeah.
One woman came in pretending to puke when she wasn't really, and she's like, when no one noticed her, she just left. Just like people screaming, shouting. Some old guy in the corner who actually needed help and like was struggling to breathe, was not getting any help, and like he was like, in the end they just sort of left because it was just like it got bad.
Yeah.
Man. So,
speaking of older brothers and too much convenience, my older brother moved here this week or last week.
Not bad, I guess.
Something like that.
It's been like 3 weeks now.
Well, when do you class it a move in? When you get the Emirates ID?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
He was on holiday before that, son.
Yeah, that's true. I met someone yesterday. I met someone this week who got the Emirates ID yesterday, and they were smart. I don't know how you did it.
Was that Shoaib?
No.
Did he?
He's getting his. He's got it already last week, I think.
Okay,
That's the one.
nice.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Shoaib also did it, but another brother. You guys did it the smart way. You came by yourselves. He didn't even come. He did it remotely or online, and then came for just a medical.
That's what I did.
Yeah. So
I'm also smart.
You're also smart. I was not. I came with my whole family and started the process while they were here. It took like 6 weeks with them in a hotel for most of that time.
I always advise against that.
Yeah, as someone of your experience now, you can. But at the moment, at that time, I was like, well, that's just how it's done.
No, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about moving to Dubai, this is the number one advice I can give you. Out of all of the advices I can give you, this advice is the best advice. This is the most important advice. If you're a man listening to this pod and you have a wife and some kids, listen up. Okay? Even if you don't, listen up for your future self. Do not, as many people do, come here with the wife and kids, book a hotel or an Airbnb and say, right, I'm going to sort it all out when I'm here. Get my medical and get my Emirates ID, get my checkbook. No. The reason is because it's very normal for, oh, that bank didn't work, let me try a new bank. Okay, that's 2 days have gone past, that's 2 extra days in a hotel. And then, oh, my checkbook didn't come, now it's bank holiday or a flood or something, so now I have to wait an extra week for my checkbook. Now all of a sudden, you're panicking because you thought it was going to be this much, but it's gone extra. Whereas when you're by yourself, you can just, you can chameleon.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, checkbook's delayed, no problem. I'll just sleep wherever I lay my hat.
Yeah, I can
when
see
you
where
got
the cupboard if need
5
be.
people, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when you got 5 people, so
Yeah.
even if you think it's smooth, come by yourself. I recommend 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So before you come here, you would have already set everything up.
Well, hold on. Don't assume that, because again, I didn't. I literally, all I did is send an email to get it teed up for me.
Oh, you didn't even like set up
I didn't
business?
even, no. I got here and started from like scratch. Bro.
Oh, Kaya.
Yeah. All I had is like because what I did is, like a year before, I approached my agent and I said, look, I'm coming next year. This is the package I want. I'll see you next year. Yeah,
Well, so first of all, you started off extremely premature. You started off like a year.
This
like
is typical
early.
me, mate. It looks like it's efficient, but it's not. So I said, I'll see you next year. She's like, oh, great. When you come, that package has got your name on it, right?
Yeah.
Of course. And I thought, okay, maybe that's half the work done, right? Me just telling her. But then she didn't really do her job, really. She should have told me I could do more. But she just said, oh, all we can really do right now is you fill out this form and we'll get it started. When you get here, we'll do it. But there was a lot more I could have done remotely.
You know why though, bro? Like now that you live here, you realize how many people speak to an agent like, oh yeah, I'll sort this next year.
Yeah.
Like most people say that just like, be like, it's like when you go to a shop and you're like, oh, I'm just coming back
Yeah.
after I go to the other shop.
Yeah, she probably
so
didn't think I was
she didn't know
serious.
you were legit.
That's true.
She didn't know who she was dealing with.
That's true. She didn't.
She was dealing with Kaya Ismail.
Yeah, a year on the door, I walked through it.
Yeah,
Burst through our door.
exactly, yeah.
I told you I'd be.
Remember me?
Forms flying everywhere. I didn't realise.
didn't realize you're a man of
I
your
wasn't
word.
familiar with your game, Mr. Ismail.
Yeah, so
me, like one kid in one hand, like right behind me as well, like an idiot. Man.
where's my fit up?
Yeah. So I literally came in from
Slap
scratch.
me.
Yeah,
Fine,
from
okay.
scratch. Found me in the hotel. I think we stayed for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then after that, I got my Emirates ID. But the whole thing took like 6 weeks because there was a little bit of a delay. But yeah, my advice: do it all remotely. Just come for the medical. Man.
Okay, so what most people do, most people don't go that extreme. Everyone I've dealt with, like I want to say at least 5 people I've helped in some capacity move here, and there's been an even split of people who have followed my advice and haven't. Actually, most people have not
Okay.
in this particular field, and all of them have sorted everything out before coming to Dubai. So the way normal people do it is. You can do all of your Emirates ID setup and business setup in the UK.
Yeah.
You don't need to leave the UK for any of that, or the US or wherever, France. Hey, Belgium, yeah. Then, but there comes a point in every man's life where he has to then make the move to come to Dubai to finish his visa process. That is so that you can do your fingerprints and your medical, and that they can put the visa inside your passport, and then you can get Emirates ID. For those things, you have to be in Dubai at that point. So at this point, you already have your business set up. You've even already applied for your visa. You've got a temporary visa, like you've been given a digital visa to come here, so you can finish off your visa process. Now you have to be here. Okay. Now now when you get here, you have to do your medical, do your fingerprints, and then you have to set up a bank account. Then once you've got a bank account, you have to request a checkbook. Then when you get the checkbook, that's when you can start. When you get your checkbook and your Emirates ID, that's when you can start looking for a house and actually paying for a house.
Yeah, although more recently the whole checkbook thing is not as important because you can rent now without checks.
Oh, fine.
You can pay like bank transfer and stuff.
For a year in advance?
Yeah, it's not as important anymore to get a checkbook now.
Right. So, but regardless, you still have to get your Emirates ID, for example.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So here's that process, on average, it takes 3 weeks. It could take 1 week, it could take 2 days, it could take 6 weeks. You don't know. So bringing your whole family here and saying, all right, we'll spend $1,000 on a hotel for a week, it's just too unrealistic. You got to come here with the idea that you're going to be here for 2-3 weeks. I intended to come for 2 weeks. I extended it for a week, and knowing that you can maneuver. Hey, chameleon. And so when you get here, you essentially can't do anything without an Emirates ID. So you need to get your Emirates ID.
Yeah.
And what can happen is you come here, you get your visa stamped, and then after your visa stamped, which you have to be here for in person, only then can you apply for your medical, which gets you access to a Emirates ID. Now, at best case scenario, you might get your medical next week or a couple of days later. At worst, you might have to wait a month or two to get your medical, like 4, 5, 6 weeks. That's rare, but for me, it was like 4 or 5 weeks, bro. But I managed to move it earlier, which you can't always do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not big phase.
Yeah.
So there's a very high chance that everything's fast, but your date to do your fingerprints is in 3 weeks' time. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe if that's the case, and you estimated it, and now you got your 3 kids and your wife with you, catastrophe.
Yeah.
But if you're by yourself, like I said, you can say, do you know what? I'm gonna go down to Fujairah and I'm gonna book a Premier Inn or something, and you know what I mean, like you can like figure out, you can grind it out, and but with a family that's hard, and you have to keep the kids entertained and stuff like that. So then put the wife and the kids at their mum's house. She's got a bit of help, and things are good.
Yeah. And also, to continue my horror story, because you'd think I was finished.
Oh no!
Have I told you about my Oman story? I've told my Oman story, isn't it?
I've gone. Tell the people.
I'll do a quick summary, man. So during that whole fiasco of everyone being here, what we trying to like do this whole visa thing, our tourist visa ran out, which is 30 days, right? Or 30. Back then it was like 38 days. So we have to leave the country to come back and get a new tourist visa while our other visa is getting processed, right? Now I didn't know you can't leave the country while your residence visa is in process, because you just can't, right? Again, my guy didn't tell me that. It was a guy at this point. So
you're right. Yeah.
So I've done the visa run. What's called a visa run here. You go to the Oman border, you cross the border, you just do a U-turn, come back.
Or you can visit Oman for the day.
You could do if you want. You can visit for a week. All right, and you come back and get a stamp and say you re-enter the UAE, which means you got the brand new 38 days of tourist visa sorted. Now we got there. We got across the border in Oman now, turned around, U-turn, came back, and they said to me, can't let you in, mate, because, your thing's in process. We can't let you in.
They said, well, what do we have over here?
Yeah.
Hey, John, come and look at this guy.
Yeah, something like that.
He's not got a valid visa.
Yeah, so without getting anybody in trouble, alhamdulillah, eventually we come to it was sorted out. But my point being, do not, when you get here, then do your visa run and leave.
Yeah, don't leave if you're here.
Just get here, stay here until it's all done.
Yeah. And so the guys who have come here and the people who I've advised who have come here and they've come with a family, they've gone, oh, do you know what? That was tough. And the ones who haven't, I've said, do you know what? I really am grateful I could just be here, just sort it all out. Because as hard as it is for a lot of us, for our wives and being around with the kids and not having our help, in the UK, at least they're in an environment that they know. They probably drive in. They have they know their surroundings. Otherwise, imagine now you're having to run around here, there, and everywhere sorting out your visa, so you can't be helpful anyway, and they're in a country that they don't know, and they can't even drive and stuff like that. So it's just not practical. And I had that scenario. So like I planned to come here for 2 weeks. I had to extend it for a week, but I could be malleable. Do you remember when I was staying in my house? I finally got the keys to my house. I was actually sleeping on the floor on like a mattress that Cairo gave me or something.
And you eat like sushi out of the fridge for
I
a
was
couple of days.
I didn't have a microwave and I didn't have any stove. I had nothing, but I bought a fridge, and it was Ramadan, and so I thought to myself, what? And I didn't know if at Sahur time there'd be restaurants open on Deliveroo. So I was like, I have to order something for iftar that I can keep in the fridge and I can eat straight out of the fridge. So it has to be something so that I can have it at Sahur time. So because I can only order it at iftar. So I was like, what can I order at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever, 7 p.m. that if I put it in the fridge, I can then eat it again at 3 a.m. without having to heat it up, cook it or anything like that. And so I was having sushi for iftar and Sahur for a few days.
Baller. Little did you know you could order anything you want, mate, at a time.
I could have, yeah, I could have. So there's and at one point like there was an uncle. I was staying in an Airbnb at first for the first couple of weeks. That's where when I met up with you. Then there's an uncle who's like, oh, I just bought a brand new property in Dubai. Literally don't have a tenant in there. It's not got any furniture, but you can stay there. I was like, fine. Stayed there for maybe a few days, a week. Then I got the house, and I stayed in the house.
Alhamdulillah.
But all that would have been told. Imagine I was sleeping on floors, bro.
Yeah,
I can't sleep on the floor. I can't have my wife and kids sleeping on the floor. Like,
yeah. Alhamdulillah. You get there in the end, man. But yeah, be prepared. Have a little bit of time and extra money put away of like unforeseen
circumstance. I spent double what I thought I would spend.
Yeah,
doing the move.
Things crop up, and if you need to extend, you suddenly need another budget for another week of staying.
Especially if you're staying in hotels, because hotels, even if let's say for example, they're £70 a night.
Yeah, it adds up, man.
A week is. Hey, that's 70 times 7. Yeah.
If we did public maths...
That's open bracket, 70 times 7, close bracket.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. If we did public maths, we'd have an answer for you right now, but we don't.
Yeah.
So if you've got a calculator, feel free. But I wanted to talk about asthma, man. Because I've also had a history of asthma. I don't know if you know.
No, I didn't know.
But when you said it...
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I guess
when you enter
trauma.
friendship with me, you need to bring me a history.
Yeah.
But I just should say that at some point, my representative may call me.
Okay.
So if he does, I don't mean to be rude.
Do you want me to handle it as? Do you mean to like act as a secretary? Like I'm your representative.
Yeah.
Have my people call your people.
It's like that sketch where I've seen a sketch online where like there was a translator and. The translator was like, I think the sketch is called something like the world's worst translator.
Okay, I've not seen it.
And it's like, I don't know, it's like they're doing like a deal, but the translator's talking to both the guys, but instead of translating what he's meant to be translating, he's translating exactly what the guys are saying to him. So like, the guy will say to him, like, what are you doing? You're meant to be the translator. And then he'll say that in the language to the other guy, like, what are you doing? You're meant to be the translator. And then the guy's like, no, I'm not. You're meant to be the translator. So. Okay. Anyway, I've got off topic. Okay, so...
You can talk about asthma.
Asthma.
Right? Yes. But for me, I had it when I was a kid. I had like year 1 or 2.
Okay.
And I had the whole nebulizer thing. I had like a big...
Yeah.
The big thing. I don't know what that was. I think that's nebulizer, isn't it?
Yeah, they give you that when you are not capable of taking an inhaler the normal way. I had it as well.
Fine, yeah. So that was me for like about a year, I think.
It makes it easier to inhale the inhaler.
Right. Okay, makes sense. I think it's for kids. They give it to kids. Yeah. So I had that for a year. But alhamdulillah, I grew out of it. But yeah, I remember like that was for a part of my childhood. That was like a big thing. It just alhamdulillah went away. But it sounds like yours didn't totally go away.
No, to be honest, bro, my whole childhood was in some way constantly connected to my asthma problems. I used to have regular asthma attacks. I've had every asthma inhaler you can think of, the blue one, the brown one.
Really?
I've had the circular powder one. I've had asthma tablets.
Oh, yeah.
I've had the nebulizer. That was my whole childhood. And regularly I was in hospital because in the middle of the night I couldn't breathe. And I'd go to my mum's dad and be like, I can't breathe. And then they'd be like up all night with me in the hospital. So that was between like, as early as I can remember. So 6, because I'm not that advanced, okay? That's the earliest I can remember. Yeah. Until maybe, I don't know, like young teens. I was like my whole life regularly having asthma problems, asthma attacks, going to doctors, going to hospital, having random flare-ups, random attacks and stuff. And then I went for a really nice, lovely period of time for a number of years where I had no asthma problems. And then I remember I went to doctors once. I was like, oh, it's kind of started flaring up a bit. And I was like, I thought I was cured. And she goes, no, the way asthma works is that sometimes it can get better for a long period of time, but it never goes away forever.
Right.
So I was like, fair enough. So I'm now 30, and I think for a good 6-7 years, I've not really had any major issues with my asthma. But over the last 2 or 3 months, it's been quite bad.
Really?
And the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks has been really bad.
Really?
Yeah, every day I'm taking like super deep breaths. I'm catching my breath. And I should probably get it seen.
Yeah, that sounds like...
Yeah, it's been quite bad last couple of weeks. And then the other day, there was a bit of a sandstorm, and I think that just like sent me off, bro. And then I went to the masjid, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to come back I'm not going to come back out of the house, so I'm going to pray my Isha at home. Did the same thing today, because I was like, it's hard to be outside right now, because I'm just like, as soon as I'm outside, I'm like feeling really stuffy. And then I got a nebulizer from the pharmacy, but like a different one. Like you put saline drops in it, and then like you just breathe through it through the mask.
Okay.
I don't know if it helped, but I should do it more regularly. But also, bro, an element of it is like, how good is my general health? Probably not great, right? Like this is I started working out again, but this is the longest I've done for a long time without working out. Probably haven't worked out in a year. I don't think I've ever gone a whole year without working out or having some kind of activity in my life. But for the past year, I've basically not had much activity and kind of gave up on working out. And so I think a lot of problems can be fixed through good general health, like working out and things.
Do you find that when you go back to working out or activity after a while, the first day of it, or first maybe 3 or 4 days, it's like you never stopped, and then you get like a slump. It's like it hit almost like your body is like using adrenaline for the first bit, and then like it hits you.
I don't know. I find maybe the opposite in that from a psychological perspective, I find the opposite in that it's hard. Like it's really, you almost get anxiety going back. Like, oh, I don't want to go back and work out. Like you just think, I'm so deep in unhealth.
Slob life.
Yeah, I'm so deep in slob life that to get out of this rut is a mountain.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to get consistent again.
Right.
But I think if you can do 3 days in a row, 4 days, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then it's like, you get out there and you can feel the progress.
Yeah, we discussed, like myself, I find it very difficult to stick to gym, but football is my thing, where it's like I can go and I can't do cardio on a treadmill, but I can run for like 2 hours playing football, and I'll love that. Yeah,
you got to find what works, what you enjoy, right? Because there's definitely a way of keeping fit where you can keep fit and like enjoy it. That's like the crossroads that you're trying to get at.
It's self-awareness, man. If you know you don't like swimming enough that you're going to go every week for years, then just do something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, if there's no point, like swimming is very, very good for you, but if you're not going to be consistent with it, just do something else where you're also getting good exercise, but you will actually like it enough that you'll do it regularly. So that's kind of how I see my situation.
What I find interesting is that the conversations that I now have, now that I'm in my 30s, like, or it's not even actually to do with age, it's more to do with like where I'm at life, like, multiple children, alhamdulillah, and things like that. That the conversations I have now are not the same conversations I was having like 10 years ago, and obviously rightly so. But two that come to mind, one is this one. So it's like my conversations about health and working out are no longer in relation to necessarily primarily looking good. They're more about feeling good, not having aches and pains. Like my back, I've noticed I get pains in my back. Like I need to work out so that I don't have that. Or like prolonging your health. Like that's that's the primary motivation for working out now. Whereas 10 years ago, the primary motivation for working out was to look good. So that's one conversation change that I've noticed. The other one was a funny one. The other, like a month or two ago, a few of us at my house. Oh, it was in Ramadan. I think these times you might have been out of the country even. Were you out of the country?
Yeah, I think last.
Yeah, you were, yeah. And my neighbours had come round for iftar. And after we were just sitting chatting, just us guys, and we end up having this passionate conversation about how in Dubai we love the fact that the bins get taken out every other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what I heard in the UK, sometimes they don't take the bins out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like, yeah, in my borough, my friend said that they don't take them out for 2 weeks now, stuff like that. And then we just all kind of reflected, and my neighbour goes to me, it's quite sad, isn't it, that we're here getting excited about the fact that our bins get taken out every 2 days. Like, this is like such an old man conversation.
Yeah, it's true, man. But as you grow older, man, different things take priority in life, isn't it? Sometimes your bins are a priority, mate.
They are now, because it's like, well, what am I going to do with all this trash?
I mean, it sounds funny, but I was at that same time, I was at my in-laws' house, and we were literally experiencing it. They wouldn't come for 2 weeks, and it was like, bro,
But I don't understand that, bro, because how? Like, apparently they only take like 2 bins every 2 weeks, something like that as well, or something.
There's only 2 bins. They've got a black bin, a green bin, and then they've got the small food bin, like a brown one.
So they're only allowed to fill up 1 black bin.
I mean, you technically can fill up more.
Oh, you can.
But there's nowhere to put it.
Bro. I heard that you can only. There's a limit to how many.
I mean, if you got 20 bags, they won't take all 20 bags. You're right. No.
But how many do they take? I heard it's like literally like.
I don't know, because I didn't experiment with it, but I'm like,
when they go back there.
Yeah, when they come and took these my in-laws bins, it was like enough bins was like the flap was still open, but you could still get it in. The flap was open.
But do they take that?
It's okay, yeah.
I've heard, bro, that there's some points where like if it's not fully closing and things like that, they don't take it.
Yeah, right. I mean, no, it was fully closed, but if it's like they look in and it's like, oh, there's a bit of cardboard in that one, or
really
in the food one there's a bit of plastic, they don't take it.
But bro,
like,
how do you take it?
I just check my messages.
That's fine.
But
check your messages.
They are like they do that kind of weird rule stuff.
But the weird thing about that is, how if you're a family of 5, let's Google this.
But basically, to finish this off, it was disgusting, quite frankly. Like to leave the house, you got to walk past these bins. They even collected like a week and a half, and it's just unhygienic, man. And one thing I would also not recommend, but say, is that here in Dubai, they don't just take your bins, but they actually put a plastic
new bin bag in
your bin.
In your wheelie bin.
Which isn't even a thing in the UK. No one even really does that, as far as I know. So you've kind of got an existing bag that you put your bags into. Yeah.
Most councils offer weekly or fortnightly rubbish collection services for non-recyclable waste.
Yeah, so that includes food and everything. So it's sitting there festering for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not. Here you go. Reddit, ask UK. How often do your bins get collected? Our recycling bin gets collected once every 2 weeks, and our general rubbish is moving up to 2 weeks. To be honest, don't know how we're going to manage with once every 2 weeks for general rubbish, as we recycle all we can and easily have a full bin every week. Some councils let you apply for larger rubbish bins if you have a large family, multiple children, and nappies. Worth asking. But yeah, regardless if there's a limit or not, by the way, guys, let us know in the comments. But even if there isn't a limit, the fact that you have to keep like rubbish from 2 weeks ago out, like in your bins, like your front garden can't be nice, right?
It's disgusting, quite frankly, and it's not your fault. It's like they don't take the bins.
You know what? Yeah, I saw this thing. I thought, you know what? This is so true. I saw this thing about the UK today, or the other day. I can't remember. And it said the UK doesn't have a living a crisis, like a cost of living crisis, or something like this. It has a salary crisis, and that's so true. And I've known this for a while, but the time I woke up to this was when Ali Abdaal made a video years ago, bro. And he said that a doctor in the UK, when they graduate, their starting salary is somewhere around 30k. And he said a doctor in the USA, their starting salary is 90k. And I was like, and he was like, it's just like insane. And obviously there's different reasons, NHS, private sector and stuff, but still like, and then once, that's the first time like it made me go, wow, like in the UK, we actually do have a salary, guys. Like how have we gotten away with, how have they gotten away in the UK with convincing us that 30k is, because I remember thinking, wow, I remember when in high school, I said to my teacher, I was like, oh, do you earn a good amount of money? And he goes, yeah, like I earn good money. And I was like, what, over 30K? And he was like, yeah, over 30K. And I was being like, oh, man, it's over 30K.
Yeah.
And it's not to belittle anyone who doesn't earn over 30K, but my point is this, is that, and this is where the second time I got awoken to it, arised, was when, subhanAllah, on Twitter, they said that I can't believe a developer in the UK earns like 30K to 50K, whereas a developer in the USA, now this is an extreme situation, but developers in the UK can literally come out of uni and get offered a job at Facebook for $150,000, $200,000 with a 70K signing bonus.
Yeah. And loads of benefits as well.
And loads of benefits, like free food, cafeteria, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, my point is not to belittle any amount of salary. My point is that the UK salaries need to go up.
Yeah, bro, we could sit here all day talking about
teachers,
everyone,
like,
everyone.
Teachers do so much, bro. Like, and there's doctors, of course.
Nurses.
Teachers, yeah. But like, teachers, bro, like they've not only just invested in you time-wise, they invested emotionally, because like they're dealing with these humans that they're basically raising, and then they have to take their work home and mark books and stuff like that. And the salaries don't match. My mum's been a teacher all her life, so it just doesn't match, bro.
My wife was also a teacher, but I always say to her, but you get 6 week holiday, don't you?
Yeah,
that always riles them up.
Yeah,
but no, you're 100% right.
Sorry. My do guy said, let me check with him, sir.
Yeah, so I've actually heard that some companies in the US and other parts of Europe have started to outsource their work to the UK, because it's all, obviously it's not like comparable to India, but it's a lot cheaper than having it done in-house in like Germany or US. So it's literally the UK, like they're native English speakers, they're well educated like us, but literally you pay them half and they're happy with it.
Bro, when I listen to the Dave Ramsey show, sometimes like people call in and he basically asks them, like these people are in debt, right, and they're asking him for advice. That's why they call in. Yeah. And when they call in, he always asks them like, what's your salary and stuff. And bro, there's been a few times I've been shocked. They were like, he's like, okay, what do you guys do? And he's like, I'm a truck driver, and my wife is a school assistant or something like that. And be like, okay, what's your guys' yearly income? He's like, as a household, bring in 180K.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, and he's not even shocked.
Yeah, he's not even shocked. Yeah,
he's like, okay, $180,000, okay, and how much is your car payment? I'm like, hold on a second, they're only $180,000 annually. Or like, there was a woman who called in one time and she was like, I can't believe she did a job that in the UK might be a 25K salary. She's like, yeah, I'm like earning $70,000, and he's never shocked. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, there's definitely a disparity here with how much like you get paid in America and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then, the rebuttal would have been like, the NHS, you get free this and that, but
I guess
20. But the 20 years ago and NHS 20 years ago and NHS today, two very different beasts, as I kind of mentioned before as well.
Most people would probably take £80,000 a year salary over a £30,000 salary and pay for private healthcare, right?
Yeah, but here's a kicker, right? If you bring NHS into the situation, now all we're talking about is your tax on your lower salary anyway. Right, so it doesn't solve the problem of why you're getting paid more in the first place, because you're still paying your tax through the nose, quite frankly, on that smaller salary. So okay, NHS could still be there. I could still get paid 80K. I'll just pay more tax to NHS, and it should be even better, right? But the point is that the main issue is that the actual salary before you start taking things out of it is already very low.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't really answer the question of NHS bringing NHS into the conversation doesn't really answer that.
Yeah, and I was going to say that maybe like, oh, wow, so companies must have a lot of money in the UK if they like can get away with paying such low salaries. Not such low salaries, but I'm like lower, comparatively to like the US and stuff. But then actually companies don't necessarily have lots of money because they're paying so much tax.
Exactly. Bro, so many business owners in the UK now, and I was talking to you about like, I don't know if I mentioned on a podcast before, one guy from the UK, English lad, right? Proper lad, moved here with his wife 6 months ago. He had a drainage company in the UK. They got 2 like offices, one in up north, one in London, turning over, I think he's turning about 2 million a year, or 1.2 million a year, something like that, something good, right? And he was like, bro, by the time I've paid my taxes, nothing left. VAT and corporation tax and my dividend tax. He's like, nothing left.
Oh,
Your representative, yeah?
sorry.
No
Marep
worries.
is
Hey.
calling. Hello? Hi there. He said you were coming today? No problem. No problem. Thank you very much. No worries. Bye. Take care. Bye.
After that talk of him coming, like,
Yeah, how
second
convenient
down,
is it?
yeah.
No, but it's fine. He's going to come tomorrow now.
Yeah, that's fine. I think so, yeah.
But I've upgraded my internet.
Oh, yeah, what you got now?
So when I started, I got the basic pack
Yeah.
because the basic pack was 200 megabyte download speed, and I'm like, that's amazing. But
Yeah,
for
it's
the
very good.
for the starter pack, like
Yeah.
in the UK, I was getting 100, or I was getting even less probably, but I was like, yeah, 200 is perfect. But I think what's that word for like when you get too used to something? Now I'm like a bit complacent with my internet. I'm like, oh, sometimes it can't load that. It doesn't load that well. So I was like, how much is the advanced plan? And the difference is so small. I was like, bro, just put me in the advanced things.
Do you get 5G with that?
And no, because I'm not on the SIM. Oh, what? No,
You should
because
get 5G.
mine's broadband.
So is mine. But I got 5G in there. There's like two.
There's two types of internet you can get here. One is like basically the one they try and put you on, which is the one where you put a SIM inside, and it's like actually just a
Yeah,
dongle.
I haven't got that.
And then there's actual broadband like what we used in the UK.
Yeah, well, I've got that, but
Yeah.
I've got like 2 routers or something like that, where it's like I can connect to 2.4 gigahertz.
Oh,
something
or
like
5. Yeah,
Or
I've got
5G.
that, yeah, I've
So,
got that,
but the 5G doesn't really work if you're far away from it. But if you're very close, you get it.
yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
So, not fun. Just wanted to check we're on the same level.
Yeah, we're on the same levels. Fair
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, bro, I think we've done a lot of social analysis, more social analysis than we've ever done on Fresh
have.
United.
We have.
What else has been going on?
Um,
First of all, I was going to order some Carracks because I thought,
Carrot.
know what?
We've been about UK too long, mate. Carrot. We're going to order some Carracks.
yeah.
Getting lads around some Carracks tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to order some
Yeah.
because I thought, you know what? We need to drown our sorrows because tomorrow, no nursery. Did you know that, by the way?
Yeah, no, I saw the
You saw the
app
notification.
update, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's looking at me like, what? I'm like, no, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, man. We'll figure it out. Figure it
Yeah,
out.
we can do. You got a whole day with the kids.
I've got a meeting as well, like a physical meeting at 11. So I might have to take my daughter with me to that.
What is that regarding?
The power of attorney thing that I was mentioning
Oh,
to you.
yes. Yeah.
I'm going to become someone's power of attorney.
Yeah, wow. Even though the words are just so strong, aren't they?
Yeah.
Power of attorney.
I'm going to burst through those doors,
Yeah.
kick the doors down.
Does that mean you can essentially make any decision for him legally?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Probably.
I think it's given, no, because I think like...
You should write a will.
I think it's like company by company basis. I'm going to work with like one particular company for him. So for that company, I can make a legal decision for him in that company only,
Fine.
right? But I'll push it now. But yeah.
Oh, so you're going to basically be a signee of the company?
No, it just means that. So he's trying to do a deal with company X, right? Not his company, company X. But he's not going to be in the country to do that with company X. So I will be, obviously. So I'm getting permission just with company X to represent him.
right.
It's not like a carte blanche representation. I can't just walk into like Do and get him a new
Internet.
internet.
Hey, advanced plan, please.
Yeah.
And make it
Make it double.
Make it double. Yeah.
yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So let's see. It's all new to me as well. I'll find out tomorrow.
By the way, anyone else in the
Yeah.
shop, your
Internet's on me.
Yeah. Advanced plans all around.
Yeah.
Fine, no, you can't do that.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that. So,
Right.
but I'll find out tomorrow. It's all new to me, so I'll find out as I go, I guess.
Yeah.
What kind of
Trust
power is going to be
signs and
invested in
things.
me by this guy? Yeah.
So, okay, one thing that is really interesting, actually, speaking about UK, UAE, and stuff like that. The one that I love about being here is that you get way more different types of cars.
I was thinking of bringing this up actually.
Yeah, because there's cars from all around the world
There are.
here. Whereas in the UK, I think it's mainly like German, British. You don't really get American cars in the UK, do you?
You don't, do you really?
You
What
don't-
kind of-
you don't see
I've seen
your
a couple. I've
Mustang.
seen a couple Mustangs, but when you
Have
see
you?
them, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a Mustang.
Whereas here, it's like everyone has a Mustang and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lovely American cars here. I guess Ford's American, isn't
muscle cars.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of muscle cars here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it? So it's always lovely seeing. But anyway, there's this brand here called G-Tour. What G-Tour do These guys look at great cars, the Porsche Cayenne, the Range Rover, the Defender, and they basically copy it to a T.
They clone
Yeah,
it.
they clone it and then charge like a tenth of the price.
Charge pennies.
And it's sick, right?
Yeah.
So Kai and I recently came across this car. Google it, guys, if you're listening. It's called the G-Tour, Jetour space T2. The model of the car is called T2. This looks exactly like the Range Rover Defender. And do you know how much it costs for cash, brand new, out of the showroom? First of all, how much does a Defender cost cash
That's
out of the showroom?
good. Yeah, let's anchor it down
Yeah.
here. I think they're like 200k pounds. Last time I checked my Defender prices.
How much, sorry?
I'm guessing 200,000 pounds. Defender 2024 price, because we're dealing with 2024 car here, not like an older version of the car. Pretty hard.
I'm asking ChatGPT because it probably just give me better
Fine, yeah.
extra.
Oh, it's not even that expensive. It's not much
Okay.
more expensive. It's like 62,000 pounds.
Fine.
That's
I thought it was a lot more.
I was
Because
thinking like
when you look
200k.
at Defenders here, it's like over 100 grand.
Yeah.
But, okay, it's like
But the
60,
car market
70,000
in the UK
pounds.
is like literally up on the floor, so that's maybe why.
And guess how much it costs brand new in Dubai, this G-Tour T2?
Well, I know.
Yeah, you
So
know,
what
yeah.
we'll do a collective pause for everyone to guess in the comments.
Yeah,
and then,
everyone in the comments, write down your
Yeah.
guess. £32,000.
And yeah,
And me and Kaya and I, we were in an establishment where said car was being displayed.
showcased even.
Yeah, and we went and we inquired about the car. We went inside the car. We played around with the screen. We might have knocked the front seat back and seen how horizontal the car,
Yeah.
the seat goes. By the way, fully horizontal. You change the colors in the car. The screen is beautiful. The interior is stunning. I actually prefer it to the Defender,
Yeah, I mean, at that price, you have to.
and it's £32,000. So, guys, that's like what was my point here, Kaya?
The point is, it was. I'm not
A
even
clone.
a car guy.
Yeah,
And I was like madly impressed.
it's really good. It's really good.
I got to the point in the car, I'm looking for things. You know, you do the whole like squeak. These car reviewers, they get in, they do the squeak test. They push the panels.
Yeah,
And
you're doing a couple of squeak tests.
Yeah. In the Mercedes, a BM, and the build quality's gone down. It's not as good. Bro, I was pushing this thing left, right,
No,
center.
it was a luxury car.
Yeah,
it was a luxury car at a.
It altered my brain chemistry because I'd never
Yeah.
seen a car, £32,000, brand new.
But it deserves to be over 100
If
grand.
they'll charge 100 grand, but yeah, fair enough. Like, it's built well. Like, I wouldn't pay
Yeah.
it, but fair.
I have a friend who bought the. So these guys also do a clone of the Porsche Cayenne,
Yeah.
which they call the Dasheen, G-Tour Dasheen. Just check that out, Dashine. Now, I don't know how. So that one I've seen online, brand new for about £22,000.
No.
Yeah. And my friend recently bought a brand new Porsche Cayenne for £100,000 cash.
Bro,
Bro,
it's mad.
Hey, that's 80,000 nuggets you're saving.
That is crazy.
You can buy
And
a one-bedroom flat.
yeah.
In Dubai.
But here's the thing. I don't know if it's the same for the Cayenne clone, but the Defender one we saw,
But it was so luxury, bro. It didn't feel in any way
It didn't.
like a cheap
I
alternative.
was looking for ways they cut corners.
It
Like,
looked,
they
in
must have
fact,
cut corners.
so luxurious. The
Yeah.
screen, like, bro, it had Sony or Bose
Yeah, Sony
speakers.
Sony.
Speakers. It had like, you just have to check it out. You just have to Google
The
it.
material on the seats was like not just leather, but it was like a nice textured leather.
Oh, bro, yeah.
And
You could change the LED
atmospheric-
light in the car to any color you
ambient
want.
lighting, yeah.
Yeah, any color. When you look on the screen, it's not just CarPlay and stuff. It's like you get a 3D model
Yeah.
of your car on the screen. It's got cameras in the wing mirrors.
And then I thought, all right, it looks good, feels good, but then the engine must be Chinese engine, right?
What is the engine?
Mate, I
Doesn't
looked in the
it say
PD. I don't know what a if it was a V8 or V6, we can't know the difference.
Yeah,
But
I don't
all
know.
I saw is
Good engine. And I thought, yes.
yeah. All I saw is 1 million kilometer warranty.
Yeah.
1 million kilometers.
1 million kilometers.
1 million.
Yeah. How many miles is that
Bro, a ridiculous amount. More than you'd ever drive on a car, like
in its lifetime?
yeah.
No way.
Bro, think about it. Remember we talked about Pajeros?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, they're built to go 300,000 miles. And we were like, oh, bro, who would ever drive for anyways? So basically built forever. 1 million kilometers is like 700,000. Let me do this now.
So basically, you got warranty for life.
Yeah, 1 million kilometers to miles.
It's a really beautiful car, guys. Honestly, like, it's a really nice car. And I want it.
Wait, why have they done it weird like that? They've done miles to kilometers instead. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 621,000 miles.
Wow.
Warranty. All right, fair, it may not cover absolutely everything, but for you to put a warranty on anything for 600,000 miles is ridiculous.
Yeah, you got some
At that
confidence.
price
You got
32
some confidence in your car.
32 grand. It's not even like you built it into the price.
I saw a really funny video, bro, on social media that went viral in Dubai, and it was a video of a guy filming a G-Wagon, and he goes, "This message is not for my followers. If you're watching this and you're not G-Tour, like, move on. This message is specific for G-Tour. G-Tour, I want you to look at this car, study it. I'm going to film it from all angles. This is what we want at a third of the price."
I'm waiting for the...
I think they're going to do the G-Wagon.
They probably will. I'm waiting for the Patrol, mate.
How do they get away with this, by the way? Because it is different enough, I guess,
It's
right?
different enough.
Like, instead of a circle thing at the back, it's a square.
Yeah, and also I've seen it a couple of times in the wild now, and I do think it's a little bit smaller than the Defender, a tiny bit.
Yeah, it is a bit, yeah.
Yeah, a tiny bit. It's
I've
still
seen it in
like-
the wild. But I think, give it 3 months, everyone's going to have one.
I've seen them a lot now.
So have I.
And it's very new, so I think it will be.
Yeah.
Bro, the whole G-Tour thing in general will catch on. It's already caught on.
So I've driven a G-Tour when I first,
Yeah.
not when I first came here, but when I came back after the summer, I think last year, and I hadn't bought a car yet, so I was renting, and I rented out a Toyota Corolla Cross or something, so some kind of small SUV, and it wasn't in stock, so they gave me an alternative, which was a G-Tour, and it was like a brand new, fully spec'd Range Rover I was driving, but just the name was G-Tour.
Yeah.
Everything about it was a Range, and I was like, oh my gosh, car is amazing, but maybe like this is not going to be that popular of a brand because it's like clones and as in like it comes across like, bro, no, everyone loves it.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be reliable as well, because when they first started coming out, because they're not the only one, there was another one called BYD, Build Your Dreams. That's been around for a bit longer.
I'm not huge around that one just because Build Your Dreams
Yeah.
on the back of cars looks a bit
It's
cheesy.
weird. But when it first, that came out a bit earlier. When it first started coming out, I was like, oh, I'll give that a couple of years to see, like, is it reliable? I'll check Reddit and stuff. Everyone's saying it's great, no problems. So if anything, they're cloning them, but the Range Rover's got bad reputation, reliability-wise. These all seem to be good. So
Yeah,
I don't really get it.
I wouldn't buy a Range Rover in Dubai.
No.
Because I feel like it's a British car. It's not made for this heat.
I wouldn't buy a German
obviously
cars.
they know what they're doing. So if they're selling a Range Rover in Dubai, they're not going, oh, we didn't think about that. We're British. But
Yeah.
at the same time, just psychologically in my head, I'm just like, in the UK, I know people who have Range Rovers and they're like, oh, this is so difficult when they break.
Yeah.
That I just can't imagine. In the UAE, you need to take your car regularly to get things sorted. I just can't imagine having a Range Rover being reliable.
no, they're not, to be frank. And same for German cars.
Yeah, although you can't go wrong with the G-Wagon.
Can you? I don't know. The thing is, the problem with that is the people driving G-Wagons are so rich that you wouldn't hear about those problems. It's just like,
Yeah,
but
it's true.
I'll simply drive my Lamborghini today instead while it gets fixed.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't hear about the problems. But I probably still wouldn't buy one because it probably isn't that reliable.
I don't know, if I was like super wealthy, I probably would buy a G-Wagon.
Would you?
I do like the idea of who doesn't like the idea of a G-Wagon?
I do like the idea. I guess we're talking about billionaire here. Like literally.
No.
What?
You don't need to be a billionaire, bro.
I don't need to be. I'm just saying,
a
like,
G-Wagon you get for 150 grand.
yeah, but I wouldn't buy that as my only car. If I
Yeah.
was rich enough to buy one car, I don't think I'd buy that. If I was going to buy 10 cars, yeah, G-Wagon would be in there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. We're talking about things that are like so unrealistic. We're not, are we?
Back to G-Tour.
Yeah, anyway, let me tell you about this podcast that I watched today. So it was a Diary of a CEO podcast, and the guest was it was like, I just went on like I typed in Diary of a CEO, and I selected most popular, and then it was like one of the most popular episodes. It was the guy who wrote a book called The Psychology of Money. I have to go on a tangent here. I'm about to say something that, you know, those videos that you see online and they're laughable because it's so cringe. When a guy, like the kind of videos where someone goes, in my mind, I'm not a billionaire, I'm a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Those kind of videos.
Yeah.
Or when someone says like I wake up at, I go sleep at 12 o'clock and I wake up at 3 a.m. Like,
yeah.
and then you look at that clip and you're like,
Yeah.
That I'm about to say something like that. That's true, bro. I can't listen to podcasts anymore because I get too motivated. But I'm being so genuinely serious here. That sounds like such a
Yeah.
stupid thing to say, bro. The other day I was in the gym. I was listening to this podcast, and it motivated me so much to work that I left the gym early to go work.
That's sick though. That's a great feeling.
No, I can't listen to it in the gym. It's not beneficial for my gym session.
Fair, but
So now I'm selective what I'm listening to when. But that was like, it was a podcast about, just like work related things, productivity, work, business, man stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on tangent now, because I went off tangent. And hey, I'm coming back onto the tangent.
Okay.
I watched some of this podcast episode. I haven't finished it, and it's with the guy who wrote the book, The Psychology of Money. And what's really interesting, bro, is he says a concept that, first of all, we know Islamically anyway, but he basically said that what most people who say that they want to be a millionaire, they're not saying I want £1 million in the bank. What they're really saying is I want to spend £1 million. And that's true, isn't it, bro? And he said that his parents, he learned about money from his parents, and it was really interesting. So his parents, when he was growing up, his parents were studying, and therefore they were basically living off student loans and grants, and so they didn't have a lot of money, so they learned to be very frugal. But then when his dad graduated, he became a doctor, and he started earning a lot of money, but he kept his frugality just because of what he was used to. And he said that when his dad was a doctor, they had a nice house, nothing crazy, not a huge house. They had an okay car, but it wasn't like the best car in the world. And he got like okay presents, but they weren't the best presents in the world. And at the time he said, I didn't understand. I kind of hated my parents. I was like, we can afford a nicer life. Like, why are you doing this to me? But then what happened is he understood that when his dad wanted to retire as a doctor, when he put 20 years into being a doctor and he wanted to retire, he woke up one day and was like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this anymore. And he that day retired because he could, because he was good with money and he didn't spend on things that he didn't need to buy and things like that. Yeah. And he said at the same time, his dad had other colleagues who were equally burnt out, but they had to maintain the sports car that they had and the big mansion that they were living in as doctors in the US. And therefore, they couldn't retire. They were forced to stay. And so he was talking about in The Psychology of Money that the goal is not necessarily finances. The goal is independence, and he doesn't mean that to be independent and free you have to have a lot of finances. It's more so about how you spend them. So if, for example, we just spoke about the G-Tour, right? But both you and I, alhamdulillah, have a car, and really if we carried on just having the car that we have, we don't actually need a second car. You don't have a 2-car household, I don't have a 2-car household, and it's never really been an issue for me. Most of the time, 90% of the time, there's no issue. I'm not saying I'm not going to get second car or don't get second car, but I'm just saying that if we was to follow this psychology, actually it's not really needed. It's a very rare occasion when me and my wife both need the car at the same time. And if we do, it's a £10 cab, right? It's not a £30,000 G-Tour T2. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful car. But it's those kind of decisions in life where you actually keep the 30k. And when you do that in a 20-year career, you make those £30,000 saving decisions, £10,000, then at the end of that career, you have hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of pounds. Yeah. But also if you're investing that money right, so you're not buying a depreciating asset, but you're buying a really safe, boring investment, which is what he's talking about as well, for 30,000. Maybe you purchase a home through Ursia.
Smart.
You have that freedom, but you've never lived a life where what you think you need to live, I earn £20,000 a month, £30,000, £50,000 a month in order to have independence. You've never lived that, but you've got the independence that even those people don't have. And so just to finish off my point, there's 2 inspiring case studies he gave. One was, he said, I know CEOs who are earning $30 million a year, and they're the busiest people in the world, and they have zero freedom and zero independence. Their whole life is run by their schedule and people putting things in it and everybody demanding their time. That's not a happy, independent life, but they got the money. But then he said, he gave the story, and I haven't finished listening to it, so I don't know the whole story, but he gave an example in the preview. He spoke about the example of a really inspiring man a few decades ago or something who worked as a janitor, but basically achieved this financial success working as a janitor. And so, bro, we could live the life we want to live in terms of what is our end result. And that's actually one of the things that motivated one of my videos as well that I made about. Like, we have this idea that we want to live this life. We want to build a life ourselves now where we're earning so much money so that we can get to the end result of living how we want to live. And that might be, I want to be able to like go wherever I want to go, not have anyone tell me what to do, read the Quran however much I want, go to the mosque 5 times a day. But actually, you can do all of those things now. Yeah. And if your end result is, for example, I want to live life. I wake up, I do whatever I want to do. I'll read the Quran and all this kind of stuff. If those things are the only things that the end result is, you might not need £10,000-20,000 a month salary to get there. You actually might just be in a situation where you move to Indonesia and now you can live with £1,000 a month or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think it's lifestyle creep. Right, where it's like you got salary increase of like extra £500 a month now. Instead of like putting £500 a month away now, you just find new ways to spend extra 500. So this is very common throughout someone's career. They'll get payment increases, bonuses, things like that, but they never actually. All that happens is they just spend more on like small, quote unquote small. Could be an extra car, could be like an extra holiday a year. But
you would never have got the extra car if you didn't have the money for it.
That, but also it doesn't really impact that much. Like going to an extra holiday to Spain in November when before you weren't doing that because you got the salary increase, it wasn't a smart way to spend it because it's just like that's not really going to change your life that much. Whereas if you're getting to the habit of what you're saying, which is like, okay, I'm not going to give into the lifestyle's creep. I'm going to actually stay where I was, be content with how my lifestyle is and has been, and put that money into an investment or save it for an investment, a larger investment later, that can have a bigger impact where you can do the lifestyle creep later, but it hasn't paralyzed you to the point where like, okay, you're living paycheck to paycheck now. So one quote I always think about is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he always, whenever people talk to him about like how his sort of story of coming up, he didn't become a millionaire overnight, but it's quite a quick come up for him. And he's always saying things like, don't get fancy, right? You got fancy too quickly. And he always says this to people like they start to earn money, and they mismanage the money, and the business they were running goes bankrupt or whatever. He said because the guy who was doing it got fancy, right? He earned some money, he bought a sick car, he bought a sick house, he got fancy too quickly, and he bit off more than he could chew, got into debt. Well, not even the debt, just like living paycheck to paycheck too closely, and it wasn't sustainable. And he got so whenever I feel like getting fancy, I tell myself, don't get fancy. You're not there yet. That's what I tell myself. I say, you're not that guy. Maybe you'll get there, inshallah, one day, and that time will be the time to do that. But this fancy thing you want to do, don't get fancy too early. And that's how I sort of keep myself in check. And also, just being content with where you are, bro. Alhamdulillah, like, whatever you've got, you are okay. The fact that we're here, we're okay. So you be ambitious and you ask Allah for more, but you also be content with what you got. To the point where you're not desperately, I must get to this next sort of salary thing, or my next business must work so I can buy the car. It's like, if it does, alhamdulillah, but if it doesn't, I'm content. You know what I mean? I'll try my best, I'll be ambitious to get it, but this is advice to myself first and foremost, we have to be happy and content with what Allah's already given us. And also content if Allah decides to decrease our risk, you know, because we don't have a personal guarantee that our risk will just like a graph just go up. Like, I think a lot of people think that way, and I've fallen that into myself. Oh, as I grow older, my risk will just keep increasing. Well, no, people lose things all the time. Businesses, they lose houses, they lose this, lose that, lose family members. So you're not necessarily guaranteed this sort of upward trajectory. And when it doesn't happen for some people, they get upset. It's like, oh, you know, last year I was earning this, why am I not? You know, I'm earning less than I was. I'm earning just exactly the same for 3 or 4 years. Like, bro, just be happy, just be content with what you got, and you'll be happy. Do you know what I mean? But if you constantly expect this gradual increase up into the right, if you will, you're sort of putting yourself in a corner where you must be unhappy because you're expecting what was never promised to you. What you've got is what you've got, man. Be happy with it, alhamdulillah. So
I think that's a really positive note to end the podcast on, inspiring note. But also, bro, that thing about don't get fancy is really cool. Actually, I really like that, because sometimes you have to have these slogans that you tell yourself, so as a reminder for a feeling. Like, one that I like is I can't like it that much because I've forgotten it. There's one that I was going to write down just as a reminder for myself, but if I remember, I'll have to tell you next episode.
Okay.
But it was...
Sounds great, though.
It was really good as well. It was something about... I can't remember, bro.
You can take my don't get fancy. It's not my Gary Vaynerchuk's don't get fancy.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I say it to myself quite regularly. To be honest.
Well, there's another one that you told me once I really like, which is embrace the grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes when you feel like, oh, like I'm just like, I can't get the that nice car that I want or something. It's like, no, embrace the grind. Like you're in the grind right now, and it's no, you said glorify the grind. I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Sounds
What
better.
did you say?
That sounds much better. I'll say I said that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I basically glamorize the grind. Maybe.
Yeah, that actually does ring a bell. Actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Am I getting close
That
up?
rings a great bell.
Yeah.
I'll claim it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because again.
But in your head, tell yourself the narrative that you're on the grind and make that a beautiful narrative.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like my grind period, like what a great thing.
Yeah, man, it is a great thing. It should be enjoyed. And again, like we don't know what Allah has written for us in terms of risk increase or decrease in the short term. So why hang your happiness on that? Hang your happiness on the fact that Allah is the best of providers, and Allah will test you with more wealth and with decreasing wealth sometimes. Either way, man, alhamdulillah, either way. So don't put yourself in a position where if it goes one way, that's a disaster for me and I'm going to be upset and I won't have sabr in that situation. No, both avenues are good. Mm-hmm. Whatever Allah gives you is good. So why be upset again? Yeah. Just enjoy it, man.
Enjoy it, dude.
Yeah. Just literally like it is what it is. Allah's written it anyway. Whatever's going to come your way, if you have sabr and shukr, it's fine. It's good. So what's the problem?
Sahihan. Bro, Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah feek.
I enjoyed that, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice episode.
I would
Guys,
go on.
See you on the next episode. So, you cool to do another episode sometime soon? Maybe next week?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, cool. Let us know how you find it, guys. It was nice to do a nice little chin wag and natter. And on that note, we'll see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.